Um, with that in mind, Peter, can you tell us a little bit about how we got here, this current conflict? I know you spent extensive time in Russia and even in Ukraine. You've even witnessed the downfall of the Soviet Union. I'd just like to get your take on the history of the conflict.
Well, it's very hard to fathom it because at the time the Soviet Union collapsed, by a complete set of coincidences and providential events, I was actually there in Moscow when the Soviet Union fell, which most of the Western press corps were not because they were on holiday. It was late August, and I, as I say, by sheer providence, had actually found myself there and saw it happen. And it's still burnt on my cerebral cortex that one of the things that happened was that the whole communist nature of Russia came to an end. A particular scene which I've never seen anyone else record, but which I definitely remember from the days after the pro KGB putsch collapse in August, was to go around Moscow. It was quite warm, late summer weather. And in those days, Moscow's litter bins in the sort of more ornamental heart of the city were a kind of urn-shaped grey metal, and they were all full of burning Communist Party membership cards, partini biglietti, the red and gold cards which people had to take out really to gain any kind of preferment in any chosen career or calling. And that had died. People had just given it up, and the Communist Party was dead, and that was its funeral. And I saw it. I've never seen that recorded anywhere else, but it really had a very profound impact on me. And not long afterwards, I was able to get permission to go to the Soviet naval port at Sevastopol in Crimea, which was a closed city at the time, but things were opening up a bit. And I and a few other Western journalists got in, and it was clear that the Soviet Navy, the huge global reach Navy, which Admiral Sergei Gorshkov had been assembling for about 40 years, was at an end because many of the ships had simply been scuttled. They were lying in creeks and in the harbor, down by the bows and down by the stern, or just tilted over full of water. And they've doubtless been converted into washing machines by now. So the two very important parts of the whole Soviet structure, the Communist Party as its ideological base, and the attempt at global reach to rival the United States, had both visibly collapsed, and those things made a strong impression on me.